Gabe from CJ Undertow with Toad again. Not story time today, though. Unless you like reading strategy guides as if they're stories, because we have the two most debated games, I think, right now. They're strategy guides. Here, it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 by Brady Games, and Battlefield 3, the official game guide by Prima. Now, the first thing you're going to notice, besides the fact that the prices are the same, both of these are $19.99 at your local game store, is that the covers, not much originality in terms of, doing something different for the pictures. That's the picture on the front of the Call of Duty box, and that's the picture on the front of the Battlefield box. So, I don't know. I guess people would recognize it a little easier. The other thing you're going to notice, just by looking at these two, is that this one is about a little more than half as big as the Battlefield one. It makes sense because Battlefield is on a much larger scale, I guess, but for the same price, that's kind of strike number one against the Call of Duty one. But we'll look at that one first. They follow a similar format. Glossary, you'd expect. There's the axe for the campaign. This one actually gives pretty good descriptions. It's not a very long campaign. You guys know, if you played Modern Warfare 3, that it clocks in at around 5 hours, and you really don't need this part of the guide at all. I actually bought this guide after I beat the campaign. Didn't have any problem with it. But then you have your special ops missions. There's the survival and the other ones, the co-op missions. So you'll be able to do that. And here, last, you have the multiplayer stuff. This is what people are really going to care about. If you haven't played a Call of Duty game before, there's nice tips at the beginning to help you out. Information about your HUD, tactics, shooting, and then different weapon types. This is important. And this is really cool. This hasn't been in, I don't think it's been in any of the other guides. They give you recoil profiles, they call it, basically showing you the angle and the amount of recoil that each gun's going to have, specific numbers telling you the damage. So that's basically the Call of Duty guide. There's some maps at the end, but that's really it. And a pretty nice look of some text on the back. Now, the Battlefield guide is kind of the other way around. The campaign is last, actually, because the focus of Battlefield 3, for those of you that have played it, is definitely the multiplayer. There's a lot of information about this stuff, just from basics, from shooting to throwing grenades and aiming and stuff. Tons of information about vehicles, detailed descriptions, every weapon and unlock you can have for every vehicle, every gun you can have, and then the majority of this guide are the maps. So there's 9 maps in the original before they released the Back to Karkin expansion, and these are covered not only just showing the map, but showing every single game type for those maps, different strategies for those. And then there's a very, very, very small section about the co-op for this game. The co-op is not going to be very long. It's not as much of a focus as it is in Call of Duty. And then a fairly small section on the campaign. And then here there's every single achievement you can have, and there are a ton of them, and then every dog tag you can have. The text on that is so small. I have 2010 vision, and it's hard for me to read. And every unlock you can have. So this is a much more in-depth guide, but that's just the type of game Battlefield 3 is. There's a lot more kind of nitpicky stuff than there is in Call of Duty. So if you can only pick one of these, I'd say go with Battlefield 3. Not only is it a lot thicker, but it just has more content. Prima, I think, actually did a little bit of a better job just in the writing style, adding in some humor. The Brady Games guide is pretty cut and dry. There isn't really a lot of extra. So definitely, if you can only buy one but at the same price, go with Battlefield 3. Of course, I don't really want to tell you which game to buy. I don't really want to start some fanboy argument, or do I? But I'd say Battlefield 3 is probably the better choice in terms of guides.